Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we are going to be resetting for April. So we are going to talk about our March finances, which were a doozy. We're also going to talk about our March goals, or my March goals, April goals, my mood board, lessons learned, favorites, all of the things. As always, let's go ahead and start with talking about our March budget. I am here with my handy dandy iPad Pro, and I do all of our budgeting, goal setting, stuff like that in Notion. So anytime you see like a digital screenshot on my video, then just know that that's more than likely Notion, because I don't take screenshots from any other application. Sometimes the Notes app, but normally it's going to be Notion. So that is what I am referencing. Let's talk about our March budget. In March, we wanted to save $2,000, which we have done. We wanted to invest 15% of our paychecks, which we have done. Actually, I'm going to list all the things we've done, and then I'll just tell you the things that we haven't done. We also paid our monthly credit card bill, purchased book club books, turned in my mileage for work. I did some random acts of kindness. I'll share with you some of those. I purchased TableMate gifts for a planner event that I went to. I requested my W-2s finally. I purchased my niece a birthday gift, and would you know, she asked me if I could clear her Shein cart, and I was like, first of all, I don't really want to be sending my money to Shein, but you know, I'm one of those people who I really just can't make people do what I want them to do. And I was going to send her money. So if I would have sent her money, she would have cleared. That's what I did anyway. But like, I was just going to just send her money just off the top before she asked me to clear her Shein cart, for which case I then sent her money, which I was going to do. So I can't control people, basically. That's a lesson I learned at a very young age. Therefore, while I wasn't really trying to clear out a Shein cart, I did clear out her Shein cart. She just turned 16. I had a medical bill to pay that came in the mail in March, so I paid it. I donated to my friend's daughter's cause, which was one of my acts of kindness. And then we took our dog for her annual comprehensive exam. The things that we did not do is submit W-2s. That's because I just requested them, so we will see if they can find them. Schedule the OBGYN, we knew that already. Book my hair appointment because I'm not ready yet. Book a laser hair removal appointment, and pay for counseling. As for income, I brought in 2 paydays from my full-time job. My husband brought in 2 as well. And it doesn't come as a surprise, but one of his checks was really high, higher than typical. And it doesn't come as a surprise because he coaches a lot of sports and gets additional money for that. But it is kind of random sometimes, or he'll randomly get like a payout that's thousands of dollars, which will be the total of one of the stipends. So that was interesting and something cool. And then I got a payout for my mileage from work. So very normal income on the personal side of things. Of course, I do make money via YouTube and all of that, but I don't count that for my personal income because it is my personal income, but to me, it doesn't really count as personal income. It does, but mainly we craft our budget based off of the income that we earn from our full-time job. So it's not a non-factor, and I do typically like save the money or whatever, but it just isn't taken into account as we're creating our monthly budget. Just like business expenses are not taken into account on the personal side of things. I have a whole different business budget. Okay, so for expenses, we paid all of our bills. And the only thing that was kind of out of the ordinary is that we ended up spending a whole bunch of money. So in total, we ended up spending $6,654.34, which actually doesn't seem like a whole ton, but it is a lot of money because our budget that we have each month also includes what we are potentially going to save or aiming to save. And we were able to still hit the savings goal due to income from the business. But for the most part, spending $6,664 and $654.34 is a lot. So let's talk about where some of our money went, because March was a doozy. Do you hear me? First of all, I donated $25 because my friend had his hernia repaired, which I didn't know about, but once I learned about it, I sent him like a DoorDash gift card or Grubhub or something. Then my book club friend, she sent us a link to buy popcorn for her daughter's fundraiser, but they would only get some of the percentage, and that to me is strange because they're raising money personally. So I just donated $50 to that. I will share some of the numbers, but remember, me sharing the giving that I do, all of it is weird for me and strange. Also in March at our book club meeting, we celebrated one of our book club members' recent engagement. So I went to Party Dollar and purchased some items for that. I got some balloons filled that I had purchased from Amazon, and we chipped in and gave her a gift and stuff like that. So that took place. My husband got his hair done. I'm sharing unusual expenses, and anything unusual is anything that wasn't really planned. My husband had to get something for our house from Home Depot, which we haven't really bought anything for our house in a minute. So that's exciting. I mean, like, it's good when we can go months without having to purchase something. We could probably always purchase something for our house to fix up something or, you know, zhuzh up something, but we hadn't purchased anything in a while. I forgot what he got at Home Depot. I'm looking at a Walmart expense and it says $100, which is an even amount, which is so interesting because I'm sure it was for our groceries, but I'm wondering if it was for like a gift card or something that I purchased at Walmart. Who knows? Anyway, made a couple Amazon purchases, purchased some stuff from Walgreens, some medicine. We had a car maintenance repair for, I'm getting our cars mixed up because they're all in need of repairs, but I think the car that was repaired in March maybe was our Prius, and that was $390.09. That was unexpected. I had a medical bill that came in unexpectedly. That was $99.31. I did go to Walgreens again and I spent $25 even. I think I bought a gift card. Anytime I go somewhere or we go somewhere and we spend like an even amount, it has to be a gift card or something, because what are the odds that something is an exact amount? Anyway, that was $25. Took my dog for her annual and she got some meds and some other stuff. So basically we had to pay like a copay. So that was $119.73. I went to Sephora to purchase something. I'm trying to get into perfumes. We'll talk about it more in a few. So I purchased this sample kit for $37.98. Then we had a very fun date night that was kind of expensive. We try to do like one fancier date night per month, and so we did do one of those, and that was pretty expensive. And when I say fancy, I'm talking like the budget's like $150 or something like that. Otherwise, date nights don't even have to cost money depending on what we're doing. Let's see, our electric bill was pretty high. It was $227.40. Class, I bought a Class for $40. Class, I don't know what Class is, but it probably was work related. I sent my niece $102 so she could empty her Shein cart. One of our cousins, our close cousins, got into a car accident, so I wanted to send them a Grubhub gift card for like food delivery. So that was $50. We had to get our car maintained again. I think this was the another car. It was $124.24. That was for like an oil change and stuff like that. I had to pay the IRS $30 to request my W-2s. We actually bought a new above ground pool because ours is several years old and has a hole in it that my husband can't repair. So we spent like $400 or $500 for all of those materials. I sent my friend $75 for an Airbnb portion because we're going to a concert next weekend and we're just going to stay in the city where the concert is being held. We had a fee that we had to pay for $300, and then that's pretty much it. Basically, it all kind of adds up. All of those additional expenses on top of groceries and just our regular smegular shenanigans, they tend to add up. But those are all of our expenses that are worth notating for the month of March. Now let's recap the month of March. In my digital planner, I have what I call like a monthly reflections page. And I put on here my highs, lows, favorites, lessons, and habits. And so I want to share with you some of my highs. A high moment to me is, you ever heard that TikTok or whatever, and it's like life is worth living? That's what a high moment feels like for me. It feels like life is worth living. Our book club meeting slash brunch slash engagement party or whatever was a time. So fun. I found $100 under a dumpster, and people, when I say that, people are like, why were you under a dumpster? Listen, I was walking my dog. She went trying to sniff under a dumpster, and you know, like on one of the legs, there was $100 right there. Just technically it was under the dumpster, but like not under the dumpster. But yeah, I found $100. Actually, I put that, I think, towards the car repair, and it still was pretty expensive, so it didn't make a huge dent. I had an impromptu date with my husband, and I think that was that very fun date that I talked about. I got a coffee gift card because March was National Social Worker Month, and then there was a National School Social Work Week. So my friend Michelle sent me a gift card for that. I went on a date day with hubby, and that was fun. Apparently we had an impromptu date and a date day. Friend dates, I hung out with my friends a good bit in March. That was fun. I got a random email from somebody at my work asking to confirm the laptop that I had. And so when I wrote back, she was like, you're eligible for an upgrade. Where should I send your new laptop? So I got a new laptop randomly. I had to go get this so we could talk about it. So I have a copy of The Book Thief. Let's talk for a minute. I was on TikTok recently. I'm not on TikTok a lot, but I was on there, and a video popped up, and the poster was asking for people's like absolute best book recommendations, basically books that changed their whole life or their whole world view. And this was one of them. So I put it on my TBR, and I will have you know, my friend, one of my book club friends, had given me some books to kind of look through to see if I wanted them. Ooh, probably like January. But I didn't get around to looking through the books until maybe the middle of March. And would you know, this book was inside of there? It's crazy because had I not watched that TikTok in March, I would have never known that this would be a book that was highly rated or highly recommended by a lot of people, a lot of commenters. So this book would have meant nothing to me had I not just watched that TikTok. So I have a copy of Book Thief, my very own copy, and I'm excited for it. I also kept a few other books from that stash, but the rest of them I will likely just pass on to other people or donate. So that was fun. That was a high moment because I was like, wow, that's crazy. I went to a planner event in March called Planners at Tiffany's, and my friend came in town, Ashley from Fancy Budgeting, and I hung out with her. I hung out with other girlies, planner girlies, ones that I knew before, ones that I just met, and we were ripping and running from the time I picked her up from the airport on Friday, like 5, until the time I dropped her off on Sunday at like 5. And sis did not get a lot of sleep, but it was fun. I also got to meet the founder of the Center for Financial Social Work. I just got back from a work retreat with my financial social work colleagues, and Rita actually lives in the area where we were going to be, and so we had planned to meet up with her for brunch, and so it was just so fun being able to meet her. I've known about her work and her for years, so finally being able to meet her was special. Also, that whole weekend in Charlotte that I spent with my financial social work colleagues was fun. We were there for 4 days working, so my brain was fried when I got back, but it was so fun and so special. And then I also learned that Rita has actually put us in her dedication in her textbook. There will be a textbook for financial social work and how to implement it on the micro, meso, and macro levels that is coming out in June, I think. So she told us it was supposed to be a surprise, but she went ahead and spilled the beans. So we are going to be in the dedication, and that's just so sweet and so awesome. So that was definitely a high for March. Lows include a student death. We had a student death in March that I had to respond to. So that's never fun, responding to any death or anything. I also had to respond to a staff death. I didn't put that on here as a low because while it was sad, I only responded like partially for that, if that makes sense. But the other one, I was there the whole time responding, and just hearing people talk so highly of the student and teachers talking about the student and staff, it was really special, but also very much a low because the student was very young. I put on here student struggles. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what that means. I'm assuming it has to do with one or some of my students struggling, but I have no idea. I also put on here that we were way over budget, and then I put budget limitations. I don't know what that means either. You have to understand, I write out this information, or I fill out this page just randomly as things occur throughout the month, and I don't always remember. And then I put I was tired after my trip. After my Charlotte trip, I was down for like 24 hours. I'm actually just crawling back to life. And of course, if I'm talking for a long period of time, days on end, in this case, I will lose my voice. So I'm still trying to get back my voice as well. My favorites include all things books, whatever that means. Tree outside my house. Oh, I noticed this bush outside of my house and I was like, I have never noticed this before. I'm asking my husband if he planted it. Like, I'd never seen it in all of its beauty and glory. I'm looking at it now and it's not looking the same. So I must miss it each year. Each year that it kind of blooms like that, I must be missing it somehow. But I noticed it and it was beautiful. I loved it. Also on here, I have no National School Social Work Week. Rooftop bar. There was one rooftop bar that we went to that was so fun. But I probably went to like 4 rooftop bars in March because I love a rooftop bar. I also was into Moscow mules in March. And when I'm into a new beverage, normally I only have like a few of them, but that is my idea of being into them. So just kind of discovering Moscow mules was a favorite in March. I have on here buying a hookah because we bought our first hookah. Wow, look at you looking spiffy. We also went on a family date that we try to do monthly with my husband's family to a food truck festival, and that was a fun time. We had a fun time. The weather was perfect and it was a fun time. Iced coffee has me in a chokehold, right? Well, what's a chokehold? Define a chokehold, because if I drink 2 cups of coffee per week, to me that's a chokehold. So while this is my first iced coffee in probably like a week, I still consider that a chokehold. At the Planners at Tiffany's event, we had a table sponsor, as many folk actually have. And our big gift from our table sponsor was a Kodak Mini 3, which is wild because you might know I have a Sprocket that I bought 200 years ago. It performs like it was purchased 200 years ago, and it just never really had a great color payoff, I don't think, ever. Going from an HP to a Canon, no shade to HP, but that might be the reason why. I'm normally a Canon girl myself. I don't know about Kodak. I used to use Kodaks back in the day, but they say this Kodak Mini 3 is like a little thermal printer thing. They say it's fire, so we're gonna see. My friend also put me onto this candied cherry perfume, so I'm actually on a hunt to find it at an affordable rate, just FYI, but I loved it, and I have learned that I actually like a cherry scent, and I kind of learned that in February when I bought a cherry perfume and a cherry spray. I think the new cherry, Sweetheart Cherry or whatever from Bath & Body Works. So that kind of makes sense. Also, I had a singular sangria in March and it was phenomenal. And I was like, oh, this is what I have been missing out on. Also discovered this new seltzer water brand, I guess, called Polar Seltzer. And it's not the purple one, I don't think, but it's the yellow one. I don't know the flavor, but it was amazing. Additionally, I learned of this peach tropical scent combo. So here's the thing. As you know, I've been using Scentbird for years, like 3 years or more, or somewhere around since 2022. But I just canceled it in March because I have discovered I'm trying to get into layering. So as an example, with Scentbird, I would get a month supply of a high-end fragrance to sample, essentially, and I only get one per month, so I would spray it throughout the month and then it would run out. And that works. Like, I'm using the product, I'm enjoying it. Even if I didn't love it, I would still use it because you can see what you're ordering before you order it, but you just don't know if you'll like it. I guess that was my case. So I think I've learned enough and I'm ready to go forth and conquer. So I went to TJ Maxx. I found a peach perfume and I looked at the notes, and then I kind of compared the notes or matched up the notes to a body spray, because the girlies are saying to layer like a perfume and a body spray. And if you really want to up the ante, then layer a body oil. I don't think I'm about to get into body oils, mainly because I don't really like lotions and oils. I don't like the feeling of it. It's a texture thing and I just can't. A lotion is the best I can do, and oil seems crazy for me. So probably not there, but I can get behind layering a perfume and a body spray. And together they were like $20 to $23. And for my Scentbird, I pay almost $20. And for the spray and the perfume, unless I'm spraying it all day, every day recklessly, it should last me at least 2 months, maybe 3. So my idea is I'll just keep buying a new perfume slash spray combo, you know, as I see fit, which would be less expensive than Scentbird. Of course, I'm not getting high-end perfumes and doesn't purchase it, because I don't think I can, like, outside of Scentbird, I don't think I can just try to pair together 2 perfumes, or like a perfume and a spray, without going to smell it. So yes, it will be more work, but I think it'll be fine. Lastly, we have some lessons, and I put on here, help kids by co-regulating, not punishing. I don't know why that lesson came up, but I felt that deeply in my spirit that that's how kids are really helped in my situation with the kids that I work with. Kicking them out of school for OSS or ISS or whatever isn't effective if they're having trouble regulating. That just kind of further perpetuates the chaos of not being able to regulate. So it really behooves one to co-regulate, to teach them how to regulate their moods and emotions. That's that on that. I also put on here that I need a new job like yesterday. I had to take a homelessness training for students, like how to identify students who are displaced or without a home, and what homelessness means or how it's defined for the school system, and resources that are available. And I took the training before, but I don't think I really paid it much mind like I did this time. I also learned a lot about women and femininity. I don't know if you guys know this, but I love hearing about women, like femininity stuff. I don't know, I really eat it up real bad. So apparently I learned a lot about that. And do we think is this what this is for? I know it's kind of weird. Some people think it's weird for the thumb situation, but is that what this is for? I don't know. I put on here that I learned I learned a lot about social workers in Charlotte at the work retreat. I learned about the number of practicing social workers. Like, look it up if you want to know. I think the last count was in 2021 or 2023, and it was about 750,000. I would have never known that. That's not a fun fact that I would just know randomly. So I learned that at our work retreat. And then I also learned the number of colleges and universities that offer social work degrees. And I think that was like 1,306, if I remember correctly. So those are some lessons that I learned in March. Ironically, I did not have enough space for my mood board for March. I don't personally feel. I feel like I ran out of space, and that's because I was starting out the month with adding my book covers and my ratings so I could show you in this type of format, but I'm realizing that really took away from space that I normally have for regular pictures. So that's annoying, but let me show you. So this is just a picture of the ring balloons that we had at the book club meeting slash engagement party situation. I listened to Broke Down Profits, which is an Audible exclusive, and I rated it a 1 star, even though I love S.A. Cosby, but I couldn't get behind that. This was the rooftop bar that we went to that was so cute. I also listened to We'll Always Have Summer, and I rated it a 2 star, which is on par because I pretty much rate all of her books in the series a 2 star. You might be wondering why I'm listening to it. but it's because I enjoy it, or why I'm reading the books. I enjoy the books. I just have to rate them in comparison to, you know, 5-star books and 6-star books. And a 2 is kind of low, but as you know, my rating scale is for a 2 is something that I wouldn't recommend that anybody read, but I still had a good time. It wasn't a bad time, or I don't regret it. So that's why it has a 2, but a 2 isn't horrible in my eyes. Never Lie by Freida McFadden. You know I love her real bad. Rated that a 4. This is me and Carol, who's actually my coworker and planner friend, and she and I sat together at the event. Well, there were 8 of us, but she was to my left. So that's us, and then that's me and Anika. You may know her. She came to the event. I've known her for years. I've known Carol for years too, but this was my table mates, actually. Minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Minus Myrna, who's actually an admin. So she was off doing admin things. That's me and Ashley on the Friday that she got here. That is all of us with Myrna. Yeah, but I think I could. Oh, there's Myrna. There's Myrna. And I got to meet Kenya Doll Plans. So that's exciting if you guys know her. And then that was the food truck. That was my husband's basketball team. That's that perfume that I was talking about. Those are the flowers, or the bush outside my house. Like, how could I miss that over the years? That's crazy, right? And then It's Not Summer Without You, also a 2-star read, just like The Summer I Turned Pretty. Kristen Hanna's The Women was a great read, 3 stars, but I had to compare it to like a 4-star read or a 5-star read. I'm not trying to compare them. It's just her book, The Nightingale, was an easy 4, 4.5, and this wasn't as good as The Nightingale, so I had to rate it a 3. I just had to. Those are my financial social work colleagues. I'm like, did I cut somebody out? No, we're all in there, and that's Rita, the founder of Financial Social Work. Another rooftop bar. I guess I didn't really need that photo in there. It's kind of taking up space. Me and Miss Pat and her pound cake. She's famous for her pound cake, and she sells them as well and ships them out too if you're interested. The Boyfriend, 3 stars. Love Frida real bad, but 3-star. And then is that it? That looks like that's it, friends. Yeah, I couldn't fit all of my photos. I have some other fun, cute photos, and I couldn't fit them. So I read / listened to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. You know what? I think I'm forgetting one. I think I also read Monday's Not Coming, but I forgot to add it in here. Okay, so I wanted to take one personal day, and I scheduled that for March 22nd, and that's when I took my personal day. Let me see, can I remember what I did? I like to kind of share that sometimes. Oh, that was the Planners at Tiffany's day. So I got up, got dressed, got situated for the event, left here at like 11:30, went to pick up Ashley. We went to Planners at Tiffany's from 12 to like 5-ish. And then we went back to the hotel, dropped off her stuff, gathered around, went to the rooftop bar. We didn't have a drink, we just went there. Waited for someone else to join us. Then we went to a restaurant across the way, and then we went back to the hotel, and we stayed up and yapped until like 2, 3 a.m. So that was my idea of doing whatever I wanted, which was what took place. I wanted to read 4 books, and I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I am missing Monday's Not Coming. So I might add that to my little mood board. Love that for me, met that goal. I wanted to do some self-care things, which included scheduling the OBGYN, growing my nails, scheduling my hair appointment, laser hair removal, and buying perfume. And I only grew my nails and bought perfume. I have grown my nails, you guys, but I can say I am still picking at my nails. I am trying to, at my big age, stop messing with my nails and just let them be and exist. So that's why my nails aren't done, because I'm trying to let them grow out, but we'll see how that goes. We had a lot of home projects we wanted to complete. We didn't do any of them. However, we did invest 15% of our paychecks and save $2,000. Wasn't on here. It's not on here for business, but filing our taxes should have been on here, but we did do that in March as well. Let's see, I wanted to schedule friend dates, which I did, catch up with a friend, which I did, host family / friends, which I did, and celebrate help one person, which I did. I wanted to start studying for my exam, which I did not, but my colleagues have kind of peer pressured me into doing so that should be happening soon. I wanted to secure one sponsorship, which I did not, though I did connect with a brand and it looks like we're gonna work together. We just have to see. Really, a lot of times it's dependent upon if their budget fits my rates. So we'll see what comes of that, but hopefully I do get to work with them. But the process was started, but it wasn't secure. The deal was not sealed. I wanted to publish 8 YouTube videos, did do that. I wanted to work out 3 times or more per week, which I always do, but I did not lose 4 pounds. That was a part of my health goal, is basically being active and losing weight. Lastly, let's talk about our April goals. I want to have a personal day. I am scheduling that for April the 2nd. I will be off of work for 2 weeks in April. So to be honest, I am pretty excited for that, and I can take a personal day really whenever during that time, but I'm scheduling for April the 2nd. I want to read 4 books. I need to read Something in My Heart by tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. It's not looking too good, but I have a book club meeting tomorrow and I need to read that book. So we will see. I have a book club meeting on Saturday here at my house, and I'm supposed to read a book called The Beast. We'll see if I can get that read. I also want to read The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, which is, I think, the 4th book in the, what's the series called? It's the Pumpkin Patch Cafe people. I can't think of it. But while I don't love the series, the books do get better and better each time, so I'm just gonna see the series all the way through. I also have Icebreaker reserved through Libby, or I'm borrowing it through Libby. So in theory, I need to read that. I also have The Secrets of My Life in Libby as well. That's borrowed, so I need to read that. And then Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez just came out, but I still need to read Part of Your World, I think, to kind of catch up with the series. So I'm aiming to read both of those in April. For self-care, same stuff, quite literally, but I put on here buy perfume because, again, I think I'm going to buy a new bottle of perfume and spray each month. I don't know, we'll have to see how long this other stuff lasts me. For home projects, the same stuff, plus prepping our pool, maybe purchasing a fence. I've been getting estimates. Decluttering upstairs, which is a spring break goal. Getting our cars repaired. All our cars need new tires, and one car needs, I think, spark plugs and something. So we'll probably need to alternate dropping off our cars during my husband's spring break, which is next week. My friend is getting married on a cruise, and so I need to book the cruise. Invest 15% of our paychecks and save $2,000 for relationships. Same old, but I put on here go to marriage counseling because we do have it scheduled for April. And then we also want to hit the streets for spring break. So on Friday of this week, my husband's spring break will start, and I have some fun things planned for us to do, or just some fun things on my calendar. Everything that I find almost always is free. So hope to get into some free activities the next week or so. For career, I do want to get approval to take my exam. That's how it works where I am. And then my colleague told me about this exam prep resource, so I think I'll purchase that. It's quite expensive, but if it's going to help guarantee that I pass this test, which is what she said is one of their, goals, if you will, one of their mottos, ensuring that people pass. It's like 100% success rate or whatever. If that's the case, sign me up. For business, same stuff. And for health, same stuff. Plus, I do want to, this isn't really quantifiable or measurable or what have you, but doing low calorie and low carb would be ideal. So really I should put like maybe half the days out the month doing low calorie or low carb. But basically I just want to like tap into the low calorie, low carb lifestyle even further, because sometimes I find myself slipping, but I want to like lock back in. That is going to wrap up today's video. I think I covered everything. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.